Well, hello everyone, and welcome yourselves back on in to New Cycle, this brand new update that they're pushing. It's over on the preview branch if you're not playing it already. So welcome yourselves back in. Post-apocalyptic, we've got everything kind of running, and I'm excited to play it again. I know you guys have given it some love, and you're excited to see more. So here we are, welcome yourselves in. Subscribe, all that jazz if you aren't already. I really appreciate you. So, picking up where we left off, we basically got started on all of these generic resources to get us going, and we got tool production going. We've got a population of 62, got some pretty happy people. So we're now just at the point where we're going to be starting to kind of get in everything we need really to make sure that everyone's happy, all of that stuff. So we're all good. I'm just going to cycle through the field camps to make sure we're getting everything we need. So like this one, for example, we probably want to make sure that we've got loads of logs. There is no harm whilst we've got spare workers to just pump these numbers up. All right, so if we come into the research tab, then we're kind of just waiting to get in one more iron, and then we'll get hunting in, which is going to be the big start of something great. And to get into the next cycle, which is cycle 3, we're going to need just one more smith, one more forge, and a couple of windmills, which is nice and easy. So I'm going to go for 2x at the moment. And honestly, my first thing is going to be the hunting research. That is the most important because it means we'll be able to establish some fishing and some meat for some variety for our cooking and all that sort of stuff that's happening over here as well. Now, we've got the ability to house 90 so far, so we're okay. And we're close to finishing this little basic tools 65. So we're all good. I am also going to factor in... Oh, I've just realised we just hit a cap on our water. So we actually have plenty of room in the storage, but what I'm going to do is actually put the water storage up to 15,000 for now. And if you didn't know, this is a big tip, by the way. You don't need to just build more storages when you cap on these. You actually just need to turn it up inside the storage. Water and food is obviously always going to be the ones that you need quite a lot of. So keep that in mind. In terms of utility, I will be getting in windmills when we can as well. But one of the main things we're going to be doing, there's the development. I am going to slow it down and we'll get onto that in a moment. But I am going to go ahead and smash through another forge and another smith. So we're going to need these anyway later on. I'm going to line these up as best I can along this section here. So we'll start with that. We'll quickly get these knocked up. And we're going to need to make sure we have a good amount of production of raw iron as we build up the tools and actual iron. So as you can see, we're not producing enough ingots, so we're consuming down the amount of tools we're using. So we're also reduced on the need here. I'm not quite sure why that is, actually. I think it's just... It's a 7 per day. I can get more in here, actually, as they're being born. Let's do that. And then we'll just need to make sure we're grabbing in iron. No one left inside of these as well. So let's go ahead and grab a field camp. And let's reduce 2 out of there. We'll pop them in this one. So as I do each of these, I'm going to make sure I've got enough iron ore and consumption via this as well. So I will be hovering over the resources to make sure they're balanced out perfectly. There's a lot of that on this anyway, and we're still not producing enough. So we kind of want a third one in here. And that should be the exact amount then. I think we're fine. And there's the objective done. Beautiful. They will be asking for another one soon. So I'm just going to reduce down now. Let's have a look. I think I want to keep logs going. So I'm going to take one more out of that stone one. And I'm going to pop it in here. So that 12 per day should give us more than enough. We are going to have to wait until we get into the next day to see the proper cycle changes. And then basic tools are really good. I think that's it though. A hell of a lot of production, so I think I'm going to reduce that down. I think we can go to 11 per day there, so we can start accumulating iron ingots because we're going to need it. Consumption has gone through the roof here as well, so we're going to want another field camp of some kind. So I'm going to make sure we get that one in, and this is going to be for iron again. So we're grabbing all of it pretty close. There is one here. Makes a lot of sense just to go ahead and get that one in as well. And we'll connect that straight in. Let's start the work. And then up next, we're going to need our power cables for when we get these in. So it's important that we get enough iron ingots, basically, because we're going to need to keep these guys going. And eventually we won't need wind farms anyway. We'll kind of move away from that, but we will at least utilize this section. We need 5 total, don't we? So we'll get those in for when the iron comes in to go in there. I think 12, 24. So that one just needs how many pieces? We've got them all. Lovely. So we'll get those in. That'll meet our requirement and we can go into the next cycle. And then after that, which as you can see, by the way, people are growing up like crazy. We can also now pause. It's important that you stop at each point to make sure you're hitting it up, right? And then in the food camps, there'll be meat that we can get. So then we can start clothing. So I'm just going to cycle through to see if there's any hunting available. So you see how the mushrooms finish off. We're going to flip that to hunting on any that have a capacity to do so. So we'll keep kind of going with that. Very important step, by the way. And then I'm going to go ahead and, well, I've been collecting herbs for a while, but we're going to go ahead and get in some fishes, which is 12 iron ingots. We have enough, and we're close enough to the water, I think, with this one. I want to kind of push them in here as far as I can. So I think there is going to be good for our first fisher. And then we just need to be careful of the tools and iron as we use it as well. And I think I want to keep the main road coming with that one. So I'm going to just bring the wide dusty all the way down to it, actually. And then off that, we'll get the small one. Loving it, though, guys. Game is changed for the better by a long amount. So it's really, really cool. We've got subpar here. We're still giving water and it's ticking up nicely. I can't stress how important that is, by the way. And we're going to be able to at least produce food from this as well. I'm trying to keep an eye on all the resources. And then the other stuff is going to make sure these guys are happy. So we've got that household depot in here giving firewood out, which is good. We are also going to come into the residentials, which is a household, not the household depot. We're going to need a tavern, which honestly, I was thinking somewhere over here. And then we'll put security inside of the other ones, but it makes a lot more sense. Maybe just come in here, actually. It's not quite equal, though, which really is going to bug me. That does cover everything, though, and I'm not going to be going up that way, so I'm going to put it in there, and then we're going to get the medical shed. Now, this does cost iron as well, and I'm going to get the medical shed also this side. Now, we can't utilize these yet, but I want to get them in for the residents to make sure they're getting everything they need. Quite important that you do. And I've just noticed how much down our lumber has gone, so we're going to want to get this pumping. Let's get you, your firewood, your lumber. I don't need so many in the firewood, and I probably want to get some more of the lumber mills in. And there is no harm in chucking in a few of these guys. They are quite important. And there we go. We're back in. Just ignore the consumption. All of this should balance out eventually. And I need to make sure I'm getting more iron in constantly as well. So we're going to go for 3 in there. And eventually we're going to need to get onto the mines as well. So if we just come in here, let me just double check, because I think mining is down in this tier. Yeah, basic mine. There we go. So at cycle 3 is when we'll get into that one. I also want to check, yeah, health. We're getting that one in. Then the other side of it, guys, I'll just click this overview and reports over here. I'm just coming into the materials tab because I don't think this is used enough in this game. And it's really important because you can literally just change based on balance, which is really handy. So I can just click this one, which is my daily. So I like to work on a daily. Don't worry about long term. We're going to go on a daily cycle here. So simple meals are going down because we're in the winter. We don't have the mushrooms, but we've stockpiled a bunch. So we can flip a cookhouse to meat. Logs, we're building. Self-explanatory. Mushrooms and iron ore. We know we're working on the iron ore, so we're absolutely fine there. So always keep an eye on your numbers. All right. I do know quite a bit about the game, but oh, I need to get this one in because if I don't, there's going to be a problem with efficiency. When you don't stock them. But I am going to change this meal to meat. And then eventually we're going to have fish in as well. And then another tip, what you want to do is basically, if there's no one available for mushrooms, you can take them out as a workforce in the winter. But just be aware that you need to obviously add them back in. Now the fishery can, all of this is new to me, by the way. This wasn't in the game when I last played. So you've got to be careful because there's 2 organic waste you can get per hour, 4 tallow and 24 fish. You can go down this way and get seafood and organic waste, or you can get sponge, which is something later on. Now, if we wanted to just focus on the seafood route for food, then I'm going to do that. The reason I'm going to pick this one is because, although, do you get as much? 24 fish per 16 hours, 25 seafood for 20 hours. Now, if we come over to the cookhouse, and we select the meal, it's actually better to go for the fish. So you get 6. Fish is worth a lot in the cookhouses, man. That is crazy. So we're definitely going to want to benefit from the fish at the moment. So we'll get those in instead. It's 25 fish. Cool. These don't have roads yet, so we'll work on that. But for now, we're fine. I need to just make sure my iron is good. And we're still slightly below. So we're going to need another field camp. Now, we're gathering from all of these. We're quite lucky on this map because there's quite a lot of natural iron knocking about. And honestly, I'm going to go over here. We can get the stone as well. I'm going to put it as far over as I can and then build in just a little dusty road over to this, which we have the resources for, so it shouldn't be a problem. They're kind of digging in. Look, I love it, man. It's so good. But yeah, what we want to do is make sure we're just bringing in the meat here and hopefully the fish, which I think is on the next row. I need to change a resource. Did I change a resource? Maybe I did. Probably put the firewood in there, didn't I? Oh, for a while we're not going to be on diesel, so let's change this for fish. And then we'll get that up there. I love that you can do that. So we'll get fish up here. We will be consuming that based on what we have. What have we got here? That can also be changed to meat. So we can counter this by just changing that and getting more meals in anyway. So that's fine. Not actually sure how many we're consuming. So the idea is these kind of resources, so your basic food resources, your actual cooked meals and your water, you just want to keep really high. It's the most simple way of keeping this good. And honestly, they're okay. The morale's fine at the moment. I think it helps that we did get in both of these. So we now have health technically. I know we're not giving them anything with it, but you do get the radius, which in turn gives you the bonus, I believe, to health. Although it says -7. I think they were worse before. It says hover over. Workforce conditions -5. Clothing distribution rate and access to medication. And season is -20. That's the main factor in here. As you can see, there's quite a lot in each. So herbal tea. Let's go into our production. Let's just kind of see. We have the small work hall. And this is where you can produce tanned leather and herbal tea. So in terms of production, let's start. I'm probably going to have 2 more storehouses there. Let's get them here. Now, it's important to try and separate out a little bit when you get onto conveyor belts and stuff. It is quite important, so otherwise it'll be an absolute pain. Now, what I'm going to do is take one out of there and pop him in here, just so we don't get the efficiency. If you're not using a building, you get punished for it, so keep that in mind, guys. And then in ready and in fashion for the next one, we're going to get these roads now in. And I think we're okay to get across with these two. So there. Make sure you hold shift, by the way. I kind of forgot. And then we're going to have to go for this road here into there. And there's the end of year 2. So we'll be going in for the highlights in a moment. I'm just going to bring this around to connect in. There we go. Let's check it out. So we had 15 new people join. Population increased by 26, and we got a 98% replenishment across the board. Lovely stuff. And a little bit more births. So as we come out now, our happiness should go up, but we're also going to want to gather these mushrooms. So we will be flipping once again through that. A sad day for all of us, Chief. We're no strangers to death, but this is the first time we've encountered it since we settled here, and it hurts even more. Okay, a lumber mill staff died, was replaced. So we had someone die, unfortunately, which is kind of sad. I'm just going to put in these both as timber with 1 worker in each, by the way, and we're going to need a cemetery. That changes everything. And cemetery kind of doesn't matter where we go, in the way that I think I'm going to keep it this way for the not too close but not too far from the housing. I haven't checked my farming, to be fair, but don't think you need to connect it, so we'll just leave that there just to make sure. Now, in terms of health, look, if we come back in, season stuff should disappear in the next day and we'll be able to move forward. Right, let's have a look at our cycle. So we just need 1 more windmill, which I actually could have already got in. So we're going to keep going over this way for now with these ones. So I get 1 more in there. Still got 745 power, so we're absolutely fine. And we've got the morale above 40. Very nice. So a nice little 20 morale to the extra classes, which will oh, look at this, man. They're loving life. They're loving life. Going to keep the water one high because it really does help. It really, really does. And I've got basic tools still good, I think. And the only one we need to concern ourselves with was that iron ore, which I haven't actually populated anyone in here yet. So that will be enough, I think. 6 per day. So that gives us the right amount. Lovely. We definitely want to be getting the mushrooms in as well. I'm going to flip 1 to mushrooms because they are obviously the easiest way to get your meals up. But I am going to reduce the amount they're using and instead going to put them in, I believe, on the fish. So get pretty good amount out of those. And as you can see, we're getting that plus 10% because of our efficiency at the moment. They're 110% efficiency because they're happy bunnies, man. And there we go. As long as the number's going up, I'm pretty happy. So the meat one itself, I am going to reduce down to 3 so we can keep the surplus of meat going. And then with the extra 1 person, we're going to get more mushrooms. So you don't want to waste this because they replenish in the seasons. You want to try and drain the season out. But there is the new cycle now, and this is where we can get into the real nitty-gritty of the game, I feel like. So we can start making the clothes and stuff, which is perfect. And then life in regulation. Chief, our transition to settled life will bring with it dozens of issues that need to be resolved. I'll do all I can for our benefit. Thank you very much. We almost have our daily lives in order. All right. You should allow us to barter among ourselves. Surely we can give us this much. Morale or workforce? I'm going to say yes to this because actually that +8 morale is slightly better than the workforce. Kind of offset, but each one we're getting major efficiency on at the moment because of it. It's really, really good. Really handy. But yeah, let's go in then. Let's check out the new ones here. So we've got weaving, mine surveying, building statics, surveillance, which is a scouts guild. I definitely want that, but you need paper. Then we've got the cultivation and vocation training. Now, vocation training gives us the paper, so we are going to hit that one up. And it also is pretty cheap to do. Also soap as well. So we're going to start that research. Now, we've got our workshop in. This is going to be herbal tea. So a nice straightforward one. We don't have the kind of workers at the moment. I'm actually going to sacrifice maybe 1 or 2 in the logs. Or shall I do stone? I think stone. And I'm going to get 1 making herbal tea. Now, I'm not sure how many herbal tea we're going to need to satisfy our current population. However, it will help. Required 11, and we're making 11 per day. So I think that is perfect until we get more people in. So we want a bit of a surplus. Worth noting that you get tallow from this as well, by the way, guys. Yeah, so we're getting 4 per day per here. We just got to wait on our population to kind of increase. Now, how many did we put in the fisher? We've got the 4 in there, haven't we? What about you? We could get more in the iron. That's actually a right amount as well. That you've got. There's a lot of micro balancing and stuff with this one as well. So just keep that in mind. Keep an eye here. There's our herbal tea. Good stuff. We also haven't done honey in the apiaries yet, which is a resource production, I believe. Or is it something else? Apiary. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get also an apiary. There is farming, and the farming is incredible over here. So that just kind of lines me up to start the farming out this way. And honestly, I kind of want to... So it needs to be on these nodules. I'm not sure if the apiary can do it over here, but you get the buff on these. So shall we start it inside of these 2 zones, and we'll go as close as we can. Probably get a wide road going this way as well, so we can have one either side. And then we're fine. Not sure what the honey is used for. Did I see a use? I'm sure it's going to be for mead, right? And let me have a look. In the small work hall. So that is honey plus water. So we're going to need another work hall. Let's get a second one in. Let's go this side. So we'll have herbal this side, mead this side for now. It looks like such a good bonus. Let me come into our people here. Look at that health bonus, man. Yes. So health plus everything else makes them happy. Ah, fuel. Look at that. So if you hover over, if you haven't got fuel, you lose 5 morale for all classes and you lose attraction. So 30 attraction, I'm guessing, helps with immigration, right? Whilst we're waiting, by the way, guys, do spend your logs on getting in a vital storage. So I'm going to be going this way, and we're going to get a little road in. So we're going to have 2 in there. Just going to get a dusty road all the way through. And we'll have 4 more storage there. So we'll have a major kind of increase with that one. Now, am I going to need more of these guys? Iron is fantastic right now, and so is tools. I can almost turn up tool production, but I'm kind of inclined to go for more hunting. I'm just going to pop herbs on here. Let's have a look. Production and consumption is exactly where it needs to be right now, so I'm not going to mess with that. We can keep these one worker in for our second one over here to start the mead. And straight into mead then. One in there. I'm not sure how many they're going to make. We don't have anyone in the apiary either, actually. Of course. There's only one that needs to go in here as well. Alright, just come into these structures. One of the quicker ways to sort it. I think meal-wise, we could probably turn down. Look at the water. I love it. Yeah, so whichever one's using fish, just going to turn that one down, and I'm going to put them in the apiary. It's a very hard building to select right there, but I'll get one. Wow, 75 honey a day. Requires 2 herb, which is now going to affect our herb intake. Again, another thing we're going to need to consider then as well. And there's the development. So we've got technical bootcamp, processing yard, paper, and soap. Let's slow it down as we move into this next chain, which is going to be paper. Now, we've got all of these guys kind of doing stuff. So I'm going to change this one because paper's like needed massively for upgrading to workers. To craftsmen, sorry, from workers. So it's going to be a big deal later on. However, that does come with its own challenges that we don't want to address just yet. And also in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get in a couple more shacks. And we're going to do them just over here the same way we did the other ones. And then we'll get the dusty old roads around. And what do we have? Storing knowledge. Produce 400 paper. Yep, no problem. That we can do. We're already on it. And as we get people in, hopefully we'll be okay. I'm hoping for a nice big immigration soon, which will happen. And another one. Stock 5,000 water and 1,200 simple meals. Done. Very easy. It's like I've done this before. There we go. We'll complete that one. Thank you very much. It's very straightforward. It's kind of just to guide you in the right direction. And as you can see, we're actually consuming more herbal tea than we're producing as well. And we have our first bit of mead in. Look at that. As it comes in, we'll be good. So we just need to get this one up to make them happy. Look at this. So if you hover over each one, so for having mead in, we get +2 workforce, +3 morale, +1 health. Herbal tea, you get +3 health and reduced possibility of seasonal illness. Slight increased recovery rate for non-fatal and +3 morale for all classes. So very, very good. We're actually in 90. A good morale here. Everything's really good. So production is still fine. Just keep a close eye on that water number as you start turning everything else up as well, though. All right, just be really careful if you're playing along yourself. Okay, we just had 8 children grow up this season. That is absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do is utilize these guys in here. So we're going to get 1 more in herbal, 1 more in mead. So that should be everything we need. And then the rest, or not the rest, but we are going to go ahead and get in some more in here. So we've got to be careful. We're consuming 8 per day. So I want a surplus. So I'm going to get 3 straight in there. And the rest, I'm going to start pumping out a bit of paper, which does require the log. So we're going to need some kind of, as I say, paper is going to be used in these researches as we come through as well. So we'll go through and do some of the basic ones. There's cultivation, which is kale yard, vegetable and manure. Not actually interested in doing that one yet, if I'm honest. This one I am, because we want to get onto bricks. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the research on building statics because we need those. And then we're going to go into the mine. Our mine's going to be way more efficient on people than using the little gathering buildings. So for context, you see how this only produces 18 per day as they hack through these resources here. The mine with probably 3 workers will be producing 50 a day or something like that. So it's a crazy amount. Also notice we're going to want another gathering camp for herbs. So we're actually not as efficient as I'd like to be with that one. And I'm going to go ahead and just move this one here. And I'll probably get rid of that one afterwards. For now, I can get them on both, but we want to be probably, yeah, one or 2 in herbs here, because I see the numbers slowly ticking down. It's going up and down as we're making, but I want a surplus of everything. Oh, and a group of strangers will accept 14 workers. Holy crap. That's like almost perfect timing. So, I mean, processing yard is a facility that produces manure and soap. I have no idea what's used in soap, so we've got to be careful. Resource-wise, though, this is where, firstly, is going to be the pit. And this one, actually, I believe, can go anywhere. And I think I was kind of keeping this as industry here. So what I'll do is go right here with a pit. And I'm going to continue on this wide, dusty road this way. I'll bring it all this way, like so. We'll get the resources in for that guy. I'm just going to let it play. And then off the back of the pit, well, there's the technical boot camp. Not going to get that one yet. I am going to get in the kiln as well, and we need to decide where these guys are going to go. Honestly, I think I'm going to go on the side like this, and I'm going to come this way with a smaller road. Probably get the row of them across here. You do need quite a few of these eventually, so we'll get those in. I am after a surplus of bricks where possible today. And I think our stone isn't quite where I'd like it to be either. So let's increase our stone workers and also our logs, actually, because that number is finally going down. So let's get you guys in. Actually can max those out. We've got enough on that one to do so. And I'm just going to wait for this one to build. This is probably the most important, to get those herbs in before they dip too far. And we got a message from the community. I'm just going to deal with this first, though. So we are going to go herbs, probably one. Let's get the meat going. I actually think I prefer the meat from this section. But we are going to be in autumn soon. So let's make sure we take the mushrooms. Let's see what they want. Okay, let's see an aim to increase our population to 100. We're almost there, so that's fine. And obviously, as things are ticking up, we're going to want to add in the extra hands to use up some of these mushrooms and make some of the meals. So let's do that, because as more people come in, our consumption is going to go up, so we're going to want more and more. In terms of lumber, I'm going to reduce these guys down and make sure that we are upping. I think paper's ticking up nicely. We've got what we need, right? And I should be able to continue with some of these based on the paper. So I'm going to go with clothing. It's a nice, easy one, and it will require a little bit more power. So I'm going to make sure we also factor that in. I think for ease of use, I'm going to keep going this way. We'll just get 2 more in there. Bit of a wind farm coming in. Eventually, we'll get onto steam power, coal power, all that sort of stuff. So it won't be a problem. And here comes the pit. So let's start. We will just start ticking up clay. Honestly, not sure where I can reduce people out of. I think we're going to free up quite a lot of mushroom lot soon. Actually, here. We could probably reduce paper and thingy. So let's go down to a little bit less paper. Let's go down to a little bit less lumber. And let's get in. Well, I need some bricks. It's quite important. So this is stone, water, and clay. I'm going to build another pit for stone. But I am going to start the production of this guy when we get some clay in. And then in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get, well, firstly, another kiln. You see that little arrow? Actually, I've just realized that little arrow, I believe, is where the conveyor belt system is going to come in, or where they come in and out of. So just be ready. A merchant is here as well. Okay, what you got? Nothing I want to give. I'm not interested. Thank you. And we've produced our 400 paper. I'm going to come back over here and we're going to get that second pit in. I don't know if you've got as far as conveyor belt systems. I have. It's quite cool when you get onto them as well. Never really got as far as the trains and all that sort of stuff, so keep it all in mind. We're a little bit low on stone here, so getting some more population and getting these stones in is going to be a big deal. All right, what do we have? Chief, we've accumulated a massive pool of know-how. Yes, we have. The new world calls for new training systems. This one's actually a big deal. Okay. Permanent effect. Accelerated craftsman training. Workers to craftsman training success rate, but 1.8 times more power tools consumption. +6 efficiency for the craftsman class. Reduced probability of work accidents, but -8 workforce for the craftsman class. Craftsman training time and resource requirements doubled. Worker to craftsman training success rate decreased. I'm actually going to keep our future will be built by competent hands, because I don't mind that it takes more to create them. We've just got to be really careful. So yeah, we're going to want to build firstly this tailor and clothing. It's got crazy. This is why you need the 34 brick. Now tailors, I think, so if we continue on the food, we can fit food in the back of there. I'm going to get the tailoring over here. And then technical boot camp, we'll just kind of chuck. This thing doesn't actually matter, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing. Let's pop you over here for now. I think we got our first lot of bricks coming in, but we're going to use them pretty quickly. So I think I can reduce out of you. I'm actually going to put 1 in you, just so we don't get the decreased efficiency. This one's going to be stone. And it should produce more as well. So it'll be all good. Just need to look at where I can kind of sacrifice people. Mostly, though, we're in the autumn, so we'll be pulling people out of the other things momentarily. This is all looking good. Look at that honey, man. It's crazy how much honey they produce. Really important that we give them all of this stuff, though. Actually, I was thinking soap is doable, right? That's something we can get here. Because we're not going to get onto drink or fruit pies in any time soon. Sponge is something we can do really easily, actually. And get them up that way. So maybe we look at doing that one. There we go. So technical camp we've got in. So this requires a worker to do. It costs paper as well, so I need to be careful. Just make sure we have them ready before we do it. Let's try to raise the morale. Understood. Morale shouldn't be low. Increase worker class morale above 70. We're still giving out extra rations. I'm not going to give out extra of anything else at the moment. We just need these clothing in, which we can't quite make just yet. Bricks are going in for it, though. Now, something we can do is probably reduce down the hunting because it needs replenishing anyway. We'll have one ready for the tailor. Not sure how many clothes we'll need requirement-wise anyway, but as you can see, they're on 110 anyway. Morale is perfect, so all because of this extra water distribution, it makes the world of difference. And we got a nice boost from it, plus 20 morale for the classes. And there we go. That's just coming in now. Tailor's workshop. Get building. We're about to hit day 100, by the way, as well. So on day 99 at the moment. Love it, man. Awesome game. Right, clothing. This is where we can get our first one in. And it's like, oh, we haven't even done a tanner yet, have we? Resources. Oh, my God. Is that done over here, isn't it? That was it. So we need another work hall. And let's get the tannery one over here then. I think we've got everything we need for that one. So we're going to have to save maybe our worker for that one. And maybe look to reduce from somewhere else then. Stone's looking good. No one in there yet. Let's reduce the brickwork out. Let's get you in there. And then let's look through the gathering camps. I think we could safely probably sacrifice someone somewhere. Honestly, I think it's going to have to be the hunters. So we'll get one in here when he's ready. And then we'll get one tanning leather. And Winter's here, so I can free up a load of people anyway. I think we should be good. We got one tanning leather in there. No power. Oh, we've just dipped between the below the threshold there. So let's go ahead. This is actually a really good spot here. So it's worth just building on it. Let's get just a big wind farm going there, really. And then let's go through and reduce the workers out of the gathering camps where possible, because there isn't anything for them. This one's not a very good one. I probably want to get rid of that. It's right in the middle of town. It doesn't really make much sense. And then what we'll do is increase on the other ones with the spare workers as well. So as the meat's coming in, we'll then flip one of these guys over. So we'll make sure, I think fish still going it really well. And meat, we'll make sure there's 4 in there. And then the other one will just reduce down just to keep consuming these per day. That shouldn't be a problem. And we might want to get a couple of cookhouses again as well. But the spare workers, we're going to get in these guys because we're going to need quite a lot of brick and clay as we go through. And clay is honestly not producing very well. So hopefully we can start tanning up like a good man there. Get these in then. Here it is. Come on. Boom. Okay. Let's have a look. So how many are we going to produce on this? 10 per day. So what's our consumption going to be? That is the question. So this requires, it's quite hard to tell, 6 to start producing. And then the other one I think is I'm going to spend to try and get our first worker in. So we're going to maybe 2 craftsmen, 400 paper plus 10 basic tools. And then the rest we're going to put into research. 1,200 for that one. Let's go surveillance because Scouts Guild is a good idea. Now, that just means we open the world map, which is a big deal, right? I'll show you all about it and we'll get there. So, God, this requires herbs as well. Holy crap. Herbs are a big requirement in the game now. We're going to struggle to get these from just basic resources, right? We're going to want to get... What the hell is that? Is that oil? We're going to want to get herbs from other means eventually, aren't we? And there comes the clothing then. Shall we have a look at how many we need? So 8 per day. We're going to need 2 in here. Although I am going to hopefully, well, training, fingers crossed, one of them works. They can fail, so... Okay, we got 2. Lovely. Let's get 1 in there. Look at that, 18. Wow. You have to have 1 worker though, so that's going to be 18. Can't put any in you. But I'm sure you can get workers in these guys. Which one is it that gets workers? It's upgraded versions of these, isn't it? Okay. Scouts Guild did complete, by the way. I would have thought that would be logistics. Yeah, there it is. It's under utilities. Okay. Oh, look at that steam generator. Okay, Scouts Guild then. I'm also going to put this next to the training one. And just keep in mind that these will also have their own requirements. So we're going to have an extra ration for you. And then tools and clothing will be the case eventually. So we'll just leave them kind of happy at the moment. But yeah, clothing coming in is going to give these guys a nice big boost as well. So another happy customer. So we're almost there. Workers have pretty much got everything they need now, apart from security. So we will be unlocking that also at some point. It's not until we get across to, I believe, over here somewhere. Where? Yeah, there it is, expansion. There's a security tower, so we won't be touching that one yet. But yeah, we'll be working through these. So let's get cultivation now, which is the kale yard, vegetables and manure. And honestly, I think we're going to get people growing up. I think we've had 2 people die because... Oh no, it's the workers, sorry. We're going to get another fisher here. And we're going to have this one ready for when we go into the new year. Because we're going to need... Well, we're going to need their effectiveness. Or sponges. I'm thinking about getting the sponges in for the houses, right? We're on 95, so we've got the ability for 120. And we are coming to the end of year 3. 1 person died, 14 new people born, and 33 births took place. Replenishment's pretty low this time, but we're okay. Look at that. We're over 100 population now. So one of the first things I'm going to do is, well, get workers back in to our gathering. And I'm only going to get 1 or 2 in each because the resources have depleted or they didn't replenish as well as the year before. So I'm just going to make sure there's maybe 1 grabbing mushrooms from each. Maybe, yeah, let's only have 1 in you. And then 1 where the resources are a bit higher, like this one, we'll get 2 in there. Cool. And I think, well, take a look across the board. I think there's no down arrows other than mushrooms, which we've just fixed. So everything else looks really good. Clay and bricks, we could probably bump up a little bit better. So I'm going to get 1 in there. And as we start to get more, I think I just need to get a couple more stone people in. But I want to save these for the fish second lot. So we're still, I mean, assumption, we're going to change that. I'm actually going to put sponges. And I'm going to get 2 straight into there. I might build a 3rd fisher, actually. And hopefully this will make sense soon, but I'm going to just bump those out. I could get meat. I think I want to keep the fish coming. And yeah, there we go. Look at this morale boost. We're in such a good place with it, man. Awesome stuff. Forgot to say, we need to create the scout team. ×2. Let's go out to the world map. We have our first world map, guys. For those that you don't know, it's quite big and you can set up outposts to send resources. So we're going to send a scout team to each one. We're going to start just looking around. If I remember correctly, it looks similar to before on the world map. I know that I can get food, water and stuff down here. Islands, I think, is mining and logs. And then we'll keep going down this way. But yeah, you basically effectively send them out. They'll discover little areas for you. It'll pop up. Let me know about it. A bit like Frostpunk. But actually is better on the world map, in my opinion. All right, we're slacking on the leather. So I'm going to get another worker in there. We're going to start producing more per day. That does mean I need to consider herbs, though. And just in good old fashion, we've unlocked the kale yard, the vegetable, and the manure. So the next one is going to be the paper. If you're wondering, the kale yard, yes, you can grow herbs here, which is really good. This is obviously a farming zone, pretty big farm. So I think we can go, honestly, over here. If I start here, we can get probably 2 in this area. Go right there. And what I'll do, you want to try and get these buildings down when you start them. I'll go the wide road all the way up, to be fair. I think I'm just going to pull the road to here. And then what I'll do is send it up this way. Probably just a thin road. So I can get another kale yard on there as well. And as we're on 106, let's consider a couple more houses. What I'm going to do is get the roads coming this way. So I'm going to dusty them up. I'm going to bring them in like this. I'll start with this side. So we're just building a little bit so we can get actual service buildings in these if we need them. And then we'll go ahead and get a couple more shacks over here. Probably just get 3 like that. And then the others will get around that one. I'm going to keep the road same as this one. Probably like that. Just means I can build houses around this section. It is coming together. It's really, really coming together. We are maxed on honey. We probably want to turn that up. So if I come into honey here, let's go. We're at 2,000. Got plenty for iron ingots. Let's get that turned up. Iron ore, logs, lumber we want to turn up. Mainly, though, going to be these guys. So let's get these turned up. Rawhide is going to go up as well. Simple meal's still going up really well. I think water, I'm going to go up to 20,000 now. Worth doing all the time, by the way, guys. You can see that our total storage is fine, so just turn it up. This is the number you want to keep on. So just remember, all storage is global as well. It doesn't need to be near the other industry buildings or anything like that. And should we take a moment to have a look at all of these little buildings? Look at the field camp, little name on there as well. I absolutely adore it about this game. There's a lot of detail in it, man. Let's just come through. Let's have a look at our soup kitchens. Very cool. I think I need a 4th one soon. I am going to just completely stockpile them. There's all our lumber yards working away. And then into a bit of industrial zone. Main camp as well. It'd be nice to move that really, but it's what it is. Oh, this lumber mill. I actually forgot that we have this lumber mill here. Let's free up a worker there. And then all of our storage. It's worth noting that they will fill up as well. So as your resources go up, they do go on each storage. It looks really cool. Each person does carry it. There's a lot of detail gone into them. As you can see, carrying the actual lumber pieces there. Meat hanging, look. And then into more industrial with our forges. And then let's take a look over at our camps. So we've got 2 mining pits, 1 clay, 1 stone. Again, both look different, by the way. Worth noting, it's very cool. And then there's our brick makers coming in as well. Have we got anything else? Oh yeah, wind farm. And if we zoom over this way, we've got our, what's it called? Scouts camp. Look at that. And our training area. Very cool, man. I love it. Okay. Let's go out to the world map because these guys move into the valley. So 4 days left on these guys. Perfect. Nothing I need to do there. I think that's the perfect time to end this one out, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you aren't already as well. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Massive amounts of changes so far as well. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one.